I want to take just a couple of minutes and respond to the discussion board this week regarding FMLA. It was really interesting to read your comments. There also seemed to be a lot of confusion about the leave process. The Family Medical Leave Act is a federal regulation, and we are required to adhere to that. That basically means that you can, again, for a wide variety of situations, from maternity to surgery to illnesses, to caring for a sick family member, in particular children or your own parents, you can get up to 12 weeks of leave. All that means is that you cannot be fired. It means that after that period, if you have provided the proper documentation and it's been approved, then you will have up to 12 weeks of leave. That does not mean that it's paid leave. It means that you can take that leave, but for most people, they don't have 12 weeks of vacation time or personal leave. In most of our schools, you don't have vacation time because vacations are built into the school schedule. You have personal days, you have sick days. If you're allowed to accumulate those, that can go towards the time that you take off. But if you do not have that accumulated leave, then you generally will take that off without any salary. Now, that's a decision that an individual needs to make. The other point that was made, which is really, really important, and that is that in our Catholic schools, we talk about families. And for some of you, you mentioned it is very difficult for a mother to leave her newborn after 12 weeks, and it is. Now, unfortunately, there is no delineation. Now, I know in some cases people mention up to 26 weeks for particular situations. And again, that's going above and beyond the federally mandated regulations. Now, I'll give you, in my particular case, I ran both a private school and then a diocesan school. And what I did, and again, it wasn't that popular downtown when I worked for the Archdiocese of Baltimore, was that I would grant leave, extended leave for people if they needed it beyond the 12 weeks, if we had verification. In one particular case, I had a faculty member who was undergoing a major surgery that unfortunately eventually took his life. And he was out for probably 3/4 of the school year. And we made a decision. He had been with the school for over 25 years. And it was my decision that we would cover his salary during that time. Now, fortunately, my school is in a situation where we had the financial resources to be able to do that. But most of our schools are so tight in terms of their budgets, as you've already seen, that it's really difficult to be able to afford that. Now, what you're seeing with some, especially with the tech companies on the West Coast, they're providing paid leave for maternity, for illnesses, to help children that are critically ill or parents. Those are things that I do believe we need to take a look at. One of your classmates also talked about the cost of premiums for teachers, and the fact that there is kind of a dual system for a lot of the folks, and especially in the elementary schools. You have to pay pretty much 100% of your premiums for health care, While if you work in the diocesan office or you work at a diocesan high school, the diocese picks up 85%. And the question was, how fair is that? And the reality is, it's not. It is not a fair system. And I think we as leaders in our schools, when we meet with the diocesan or archdiocesan staff, we need to go to battle for our teachers. We talk about the importance of families and the family as the core. But yet, our policies don't always reflect that. And I think we've got to take a hard look as leaders to say, what can we do? What can we do to support our faculty and staff members? Our salaries generally are not what they should be. And when you tack on the benefits, it's difficult. It is very difficult to retain quality teachers. So what we need to do is really take a hard look at exactly what we're doing, why we're doing it. We have to understand the parameters. And that's why this unit is so important, for you to understand the cost of the benefits in terms of the dollars and cents. And then also when you get into the leave policies and FMLA and extended leave beyond that, what is the cost? How will you afford that? This is critical because your faculty and staff will be looking to you for leadership. Now, you might be fortunate and in your school never have to deal with this. But if you have been in schools long enough, you realize that this will come to play. In one year, for instance, I had four female faculty members who had babies, and we had to make adjustments. We also had two fathers whose wives did not work at the school. They also had children. So we had both maternity and paternity leave. And it's something that we should be celebrating. But you have to understand the law. You have to understand what the regulations say and then prepare for it. That's why we're talking about this in the context of the budget, because you need to be able to afford to do the things that are right. We talk about social justice. It also applies to those who work for us. Again, I hope these comments help. Great discussion this week. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or thoughts for me, don't hesitate to let me know. I appreciate it and have a great day. Thanks.